I primarily build for the working cowboys where we live. A hat is more than a hat. It's not only a fashion statement, but it's a tool for the person wearing it. The grease stains, the sweat stains, it symbolizes the American cowboy. Their work hat is dirty and it just shows so much character, but it shows their lifestyle, it shows where they come from. Sometimes the wives are very happy with me because I have to be the bearer of bad news and tell them their hat's got to go, that they need a new one. Bar None Hat Company was established in 2003, right after I graduated from Colorado State University with an ag business degree. And really I started in my parents' barn. Bar None is my family's cattle brand in Colorado that dates back to the 1800s. It just seemed logical to me to not only brand cattle, but also brand hats as well. It takes, generally speaking, 8 to 10 hours, but there's a lot of heating and cooling that goes on when making a hat. So when one's cooling, you're working on other hats. Your lower quality hats are made out of rabbit, it's pounced rabbit fur, and then it goes like the beaver blend, which would be half rabbit, half beaver. And then the 100X is pure beaver, which is made out of 100% beaver fur. And the reason they use beaver is because beaver lives near water, and so their hair is acclimated and it sheds the water a little bit better than like rabbit fur. When I get the hat blanks in, they're still kind of hairy. There's a lot of sanding that goes on. It is physical, but that's the neat part about it, is you're creating something with your hands. There's less than 60 hat makers left in the nation. I've always been very appreciative of my aunts because if it wouldn't have been for them, I don't think I would have been able to be a hat maker. It's a trade of secrets, so a lot of hat makers don't want to share their secrets. My Aunt Susie kind of taught me. My Aunt Colleen helped me find the equipment. The equipment is really hard to find, and if you do find it, it may not even work. And so my hat shop got started with just a guy's leftover stuff. It wasn't like I went out and bought a hat shop. It was, I've had to piece it together. The hat making equipment is very, very rare. There's several pieces of equipment that are no longer made. I have a piece of equipment that they call a conformator that gives me a head pattern, and that was made probably in the late 1800s over in Paris, France. There's a crown iron that's very rare, as well as this flange bag. So the average age of the equipment, I would say in the hat shop probably is around, early 1900s. It's a very old trade and old equipment. It's kind of a whole different way of building a hat. The first thing I always do when somebody walks through the door is look at their profile, their face shape, and then I kind of, evaluate them in my head, what I would put on them. I'll ask them if it's a good hat or a work hat, because that can determine the color. A work hat, you could go with darker colors and it's not going to show as bad. A good hat, it can last a lifetime. If you're using it for an everyday work hat, they'll last 5 to 7 years, maybe longer. It just depends on how many, how many cows you're swatting at with it and whatnot. But they'll last a while, you bet. I have a couple different stories. One that I heard about, there was two fellas on an airplane coming from California, and one told the other, "Hey, that's a nice hat." And the guy takes it off and says, "Oh, this is a Bar None hat." And the other guy says, "Hey, so is mine." So that's kind of been one of my favorite stories. There's been a couple times where guys who have passed want buried in their Bar None hat. A signature part of my hat is I have a purple liner, and my granddad's favorite color is purple because it's the color of a champion. I build about 100 hats a year. Really, it kind of comes down to word of mouth. I mean, that's the majority where my customers come from. With each hat that goes out the door, there's a piece of me that goes with it. It's not, 100 other workers that put that hat together. It comes down to me. It really brings me great joy.